Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with my very first chess video? I don't know. I thought I'd make a video about the time that I spent in chess about 20 years ago now, and reflecting on that and wondering if I should get back into it. I don't know. This is a tough one. As I'm talking here, I'm just going to run through the moves of a game. I'm the white pieces. My opponent is the black pieces. This is on chess.com if you're interested. So here's the story. I played chess about 20 years ago, took it super seriously. I had a lot of fun with it, but if anyone's been following this channel, they know that I'm the kind of person that, like, when I go into something, I generally go like I go very deeply into it. I guess we'll say that. And I want to be one of the best players. And so the problem with chess is that there is so much literature and so much history. You could spend 24 hours a day actually studying chess, right? Like with a lot of the other games I've played, like card games, it's a limited amount of content that you can take in, and it's also sort of limited in the amount of studying you can do. You can do a lot of playing to get a better feel, but there's only so much studying you can do. Chess is really interesting in that you can study all of these different elements of the game, whether that be the openings of the game, the end game, the mid game, position, tactics. Like there's all these different elements. So when I was playing 20 years ago, I found that I spent a lot of time studying, and I put a lot of effort into being good at chess, or I should say to be as good at chess as I could be. And the good news is I did pretty well. I had quite a bit of success. I'm going to go ahead and show you a graph. I played tournament chess for about 2 years. As you can see, I started off utterly abysmal at 1048. Had no idea what I was doing. And by the time I finished, I peaked at 1705. And then I got quite sick. And it was one of those things where I was like, I probably shouldn't play in this tournament, but it's not like I'm a grandmaster anyway. If I have a terrible day, the only person who's going to have to deal with that is me, and it's just going to be sad. So I played anyway, did terrible, and my rating dropped a bit from my 1705 there. But so that's like, 16 or 650 points gained in 2 years. So I was definitely on a really positive upward trajectory and feeling like I'm learning a lot. The funny thing is, I don't remember ever getting to a point where I felt like I was actually good at chess. That's the funny thing. A lot of the people I played with were better than me. And so chess is one of those really interesting relative things that if you play with people worse than you, you feel amazing at chess, and when you play with people better than you, you feel like you literally don't know anything. But the other thing is, I did spend a lot of time studying and trying to understand more and more stuff, and I still felt like I had so much room to go. So it's one of those interesting things where I feel like my rating could have been a lot higher had I kept at it. When I stopped playing, I was what's considered a B player. 2200, I believe, is master, and it sort of goes up from there. But I kind of knew I didn't have any. First of all, I knew I didn't have any chance of being like a world champion or something. That's just not in the realm of possibility. I'm not one of these people who started playing as a child and just had my brain wired for chess. I knew my brain wasn't wired to be anywhere near that. The question was like, could I become a master and things like that? And one of the problems is I felt like chess took so much of my time and so much of my energy, and while I enjoyed it, at that point in my life, I had decided that I needed to sort of figure out what I wanted to do. That's when I went back to grad school, and I thought that if I wanted to go to grad school, I needed to kind of change all of the things I was doing that would give me the best chance of success. I mean, you know much about me. I don't like doing things badly, right? So I was like, maybe I could play chess a little here and there, and it was like, that wasn't a reality. Like, if I did that, I was never going to improve. I was never going to get better. I was going to stagnate and get worse, and it wasn't something I wanted to do. But I always had in the back of my mind that maybe at some other point later in my life, I would get back to chess. And so, you know, I've here and there played a little bit. I teach at a high school. There's always somebody who, you know, likes chess, and regularly I'll field challenges from other students, and there's only been one student that ever gave me any sort of a challenge, because these are people who are just playing chess for fun. There's no one at my school that I'm aware of that actually studies and trains to play chess better. So that's been an interesting thing. I've gotten to actually win more or feel better about my quality of chess since I stopped playing. But things like the Queen's Gambit have really sort of reminded me of like how much fun I had playing chess, how much I enjoyed it, how much I enjoyed the competition, and that maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to sort of reinvest in some chess. So I dusted off my books. Unfortunately, they're all like 20 years old, right? That's what I was working with. There's some good stuff there too, still, so that's fine. But I'm kind of like looking right now. I was like, is this where I want to invest some serious time? I don't know that I have that much time to actually be good at chess, but I've also reached a place in my life where maybe I don't have to be the best at something, right? Maybe I can just be decent at it and still enjoy it and still have a good time and still feel like I'm not wasting my time. So it's what I'm wrestling with right now. I just thought I'd share this video with you all so you can kind of, it's one of the especially if you're following this channel because you're a card game player, it's one of the things sort of like in the background of my card game playing. It's why I gravitate towards games that have less variance in them, because I've got this chess background where there's zero variance. The better player wins most of the time. They don't always win, not always, but a lot of the time the better player is going to win. So that's sort of in the background of all of this. And I've been having fun, but I'm really not doing well. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, my rating capped at 1705. I'm nowhere near that strength right now. Like, it's kind of sad how much of this knowledge I lost. One of the reasons why I was able to get my rank that high was because I got really good at end games, and most people in that realm are not good at end games. I'd say people, you know, trying to move to 1700 are starting to get pretty serious about their openings and have memorized some lines and have a pretty good handle on them. They're usually pretty good tactically. I was not as good, I think, as some of my peers tactically. So I would often do these weird things where I would like trade down to end games that were slightly unfavorable, knowing that there was a really good chance that it didn't matter. That because my opponents would have very limited endgame training, my superior endgame skills would allow me to win. So that was kind of interesting, and I have none of that. Zero endgame skills at all right now. I don't remember anything I learned. It's making me really like wonder about my brain. How could I have forgotten everything about something I was so invested in 20 years ago to the point where I remember almost nothing? But that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure this out. I'm currently having a lot of fun playing chess. It's one of those things where even though I am not excelling at it, I'm still able to enjoy it, which is not always the case with me. I tend to have that problem of like, if I'm not going to be good at it, then kind of what's the point? But I am enjoying it. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with my my thoughts with chess. I am definitely considering investing more time. I bought some books. I got a Chessable account. I'm even considering getting a coach. That just seems reasonable, right? Like, if I'm gonna really try to invest in actually becoming good at this game, I think it's kind of foolish that I never got a coach. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna probably do some streaming of chess. It's another one of the reasons why I stopped playing chess, is because it felt like the chess players I knew that were good at chess were, I don't want to say unsuccessful at life, because that's not really the best way to put that, but we'll say like they certainly weren't monetarily successful in life, and it was kind of clear that like society didn't really value that skill as much as one would like to be a professional at something. But now it's kind of changed. Chess has sort of taken off a bit of late. People are streaming chess to huge audiences. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if I can play well enough and stream to do it well. I've always been historically terrible at blitz, which is what I've been spending most of my actual chess games doing, which maybe that right there is why my rating has been so low. But the bottom line is I'm having fun. I'm playing a bit. I'm studying. I'm working on my openings. I'm playing, for those of you who know, the Sicilian Najdorf, some King's Indian defense, even some King's Indian attack when my opponents play something I'm not quite ready for as e4. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Anyone out there watching the channel who plays chess, let me know. Let me know how you're doing. Are you back into chess? Did you come into chess recently from stuff like the Queen's Gambit? And I'll keep you up to date where I am with my chess. I think next time I'll record a video about my greatest tournament ever. The tournament that qualified me for the Southern California State Championship. So, see you next time on Tidy Grams Games. Have a good one.